Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Marcada Thoughts. Here we talk about all things femme, fair, and feared in the RGV. Hosted by Zadria Knives, yours truly. I'm here with a very, very special guest, the CEO of Helen Heels. She is known for her long, voluptuous hair, her luscious hair, her amazing killer dance moves, and her has. I'm here with Ivanna Anirak.
Hi, thank you so much for having me today. I'm so excited to be here, especially in this journey of yours. I'm excited.
Yes, let's jump right into the interview. This is another episode part of my RGV role model series. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. That's such an honor. It all sounds so weird to be told that too. It's something I'm not like.
No, I absolutely see it. It's because I wanted to do this series specifically because I feel like a lot of kiddos look for inspiration outside of the valley to aspire to. But it's like, you don't gotta go that far. There's amazing talent, amazing leaders, amazing role models here. And if you gotta go fly, travel, do whatever you want, do it. But don't put down like your
Don't
community.
discredit other people that are
exactly
breaking it.
Literally like trying to bring the things from the outside world here. Exactly. Yeah. So I think that you're one of those people 100%.
Thank you. It means a lot.
Yes. Okay. So can you share a little bit about yourself? Where are you from? And what is your favorite 956 slang or word or gesture?
I guess we'll start with the slang because we gotta get into it. I mean, I don't really say it as much, but el de... like you cannot, like I will be talking in a minute, like I'll be yes, like that's my go. You can't be from here, not do that.
I feel like that's like you could distinctly tell someone is from the valley when they say it like that, or like when you know that they're Mexican, or
So you're strictly from the border. Yeah, for sure. When you say that specifically here. A veces sí, like sometimes I will say no quema acá.
No quema acá.
When it's like a joke around my friends, or if it's something happening, I'm like no quema. Yeah, but I think those are pretty much the slang words I use, or a gesture per se. But
I love it. I love it. And where are you from around here?
I grew up here in McAllen, but growing up, my mom and my dad separated when I was like maybe 2 or 3. So like we lost our home like pretty young. So we moved from McAllen to Mission to far San Juan. I pretty much every year moved everywhere.
Really?
Yeah. So I can't really say like I'm from a certain city because I pretty much lived everywhere. So I think that also like helped me like be able to just adapt wherever I was.
Yes, I see that.
Yeah.
So you moved around a lot. Did you move schools a lot too?
That's the only constant thing I had, I believe. So I was in one school till like elementary in maybe 4th grade, and then got moved to a completely different school, didn't know anybody. And then from there, got moved to another school that kind of had both of the elementary schools together.
So your worlds collided.
Yeah, a little bit. And then moved into like one certain high school, and that was it. But homes would like new neighbors, new friends outside of my home. Same thing, everything, all of that would be changing constantly. But I'd say I'm from all over the upper North Valley, I'd say.
Yes, a true Valley girl.
Yes,
a Valley
definitely.
girly to the heart. I love that. And I feel like a lot of viewers can relate to that. I certainly relate to that because I was always moving and never had like a full house. Like it was always like, we're renting here for now.
Yeah,
like, don't worry. You're sharing rooms, but it's okay because we're moving soon.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I always used to just keep my stuff in a box because I was like, we're about to bounce pretty soon, so why do I even take it out?
So do you think that going through these experiences made you a little bit more flexible when it comes to like changing your environment?
I think so. I definitely made myself feel a lot less important things, like materialistic things weren't important. It was more of like, okay, the thing that I need the most is my family, my mom. So as long as I got my mom, I don't care about like this box, or I don't care about like this clothing, or I don't care, because I feel like in every single move you lose things. And by the time we move like the 8th time, I'm like, I don't even know what I got. Like, what's the point? Yes. Like, might as well just like, I don't need to buy that. I don't need to have it. It was more like focus on what was actually important and spending time with family, for sure.
Yeah, and we can't avoid family, I think, here.
No.
Like, no, not at all.
Especially Mexican family. They're like, ¿Dónde estás? ¿A dónde vas? ¿Con quién estás?
I remember one time at school. Okay, guys, I attend her class. She's my teacher. She's amazing. But I attend her class, and one time in the middle of the dance, she gets a call from her. What's it? Your dad?
My little brother.
Or your little brother. And they're like, "Hola," and she's like, no.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm coming home. I'm in class right now. Oh, okay.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my God, felt so much. I felt like seen. I felt like the universe reflecting back at me, and I was like, yeah, we're just girls. We're just the girls of the valley, the local baddies, making it happen and doing it all.
And the funny thing is that I've been teaching Helen Heels. I've had this class since 2017, right?
Yes.
Since 2017, I've been gotten the same call the same day at the same time.
No, they're never gonna learn your schedule, girl. Forget it.
If it wasn't my mom, it's my little brother, or it was my grandma. But I don't know. Whenever my mom when it's her calling me, I'm like, mami, hi mija, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo te fue? I'm like, mami, hoy es jueves. Ajá. Es mi clase. Ay, mamita, se me olvidó. I'm like,
and then they hang up with the quickness. Ay.
I'm like, well, you just stopped everyone's music. It's okay. It's a little late now.
But that's so sweet, because like también I could see that you're loved and that you're cared for. Like están pendiente de ti, you know? And it's such a nice, it's a bittersweet feeling. It's like, ay, vete pa' allá, but it's like, I know, vete pa' acá.
No, like definitely, like the day I don't get those calls, then that will be very sad. Yeah. Right? But no, I mean, I don't live with my mom. Yeah. No. I don't live with my mom, and I haven't lived with her since I was 19 years old or 18. Yeah. But like, she's always calling me. Like, I was the only child until I graduated high school, when my mom had my little brother. So we're 17 years apart. So I was alone, only with her, my best friend, against the whole world. Yeah. And then she ended up dating someone who she had like rekindled, love, and then had my little brother. But it's just her and my little brother right now too. Oh, okay. So it's basically the same story, kind of repeats itself a little bit. But now I have, like, I'm there to support them too, to help them throughout this, when we didn't have that when I was younger. I love him. I'm so happy he was born and that he came into my life, because I was always like, no, like, why do I want a little brother? Like, he's gonna be so annoying. And now I'm like, oh, please be annoying. I don't know what I would do without him. He's awesome. He's a cool kid.
I love that. She's a family woman, but she's also a business woman. Don't mess with her.
Yes.
Don't mess with her. All right. So you mentioned that this company, Helen Heels, was one that you started in 2017.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about the name of your company? Why Hell in Heels?
Hell in Heels. So I've always been dancing. That's part of me. But why I started Hell in Heels has to do with two different things. One of them, I was always a very shy kid. I was always quiet. I would barely make friends. If I would, it'd be like people who were kind of like as quiet as me and weren't too into like the spotlight or anything, right? Okay. And as I grew up, the only place I had like myself was dance, right? And I was a completely different person when I was in dance. I was super loud and energetic, and I would go in school and I was someone else. It just didn't feel comfortable, right? Yeah. As I grew up, started dancing more, I started doing belly dance. Ooh. Started doing belly dance as I was 12. And that connected me with my sensuality and embracing my body and myself as a woman, even when I started at 12 years old. So dancing comfortably, belly dancing and learning and being in tune with my body, I fell in love with it. I fell in love with myself as I started learning that. And when I kept doing it and competing 15, 16, 17 or so on, I loved the way it made me feel. But then it went into the dance world for like hip hop and such. I traveled to LA to do World of Dance. Took some heels classes over there, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what is this world? I completely fell in love with it. And I didn't want to come back and not have that feeling anymore. And it felt like when I was belly dancing, but I was also doing it in a modern style. And I was doing the ballet I used to have and the jazz I had and all of that. And I was like, oh my God, this feels like I'm on fire. It feels like I'm filled with just like, it's just coming out of my body, and it just feels like it's exploding out of me. So that feeling, exploding and fire and just sultriness and all of that, felt like literal fire, and that it would begin to spread in other parts of my life. So it's going over and over in my head, why, what is this? And I'm like, heels class, RGV heels. And I was like, nah, that's so boring. No. I mean, yes, it's RGV heels, but I mean, there's could be millions of RGV heels.
Yeah.
And I was working at Victoria's Secret back then, and I was talking to one of my colleagues, like, I don't know what I should name it. And I was like, it's like heels, but it's like, you know, but like damn, when you wear the heels, it hurts. It's like hell. And she's like, yeah, like, why don't you just do the hell in heels? And I was like, hell in heels? And she was like, yeah, Hell in Heels. I was like, there's actually a song named Hell in Heels. And I looked it up, and there is a song. It's like a country song.
Oh, really?
That's called Hell in Heels. And I was like, okay, I actually like that. She's like, yeah, Hell in Heels. But I hated the way it looked. Like the hell in heels. And I was like, no, I don't like that. It feels like it's just like too long, no.
Your perfectionist in you was like, it has to look right.
It has to look right. So then I did the apostrophe, like, and then the big N, then heels. And I was like, hell in heels. That way it's not like in, but it's like hell in heels. Yeah.
Yes.
And then that's when I was like, the Devil Wears Prada. I was thinking that, the heels, and I got to a person who did my logo, and I was like, I want it to be a heel. Like, I don't know how you're gonna make it, but I wanted the Hell in Heels to be a heel. And then that's how it happened. Started rolling with it.
Oh my God, I did not expect that for some reason. Like, I thought I was gonna go like a different route, but to see like you are speaking of the fire, the passion that comes from dancing, like, oh my God, it fits so well.
It fits so well. And I was like, because as I kept talking, I used to work at Victoria's Secret, so we were like folding panties and everything, and my colleague was next to me, and I was like, yeah, like, I don't know, like, I want it to be like fire, but not like fire heels, and I feel like it should be something that's strong, but not like cringy, or like, I don't know, not something local.
The cringe police.
Yeah.
This is gonna get you.
I just want it to be like something that speaks, and when she said like, what, hell in heels, and I was like, Hell in Heels. She's like, yeah, I think there's a song, and I heard it, and I was like, okay, not that song, but I like the way it sounds, and of course, like, with the apostrophe N, I was like, that looks right, that looks like it fits, and it does. It's been since then. I don't think anyone has ever asked me, why did you name Hell in Heels? I don't know why. That's weird. That's true.
I love like giving the stories behind names, because like, well, my mom like named me Citlali, and it means star. But so then I would always go around asking people, what does your name mean? And they'd be like, me llamo Jose, no sé. You know what I mean? Like, no sé. And then, you know what I mean? Or it's like a biblical name or something like that. So I always have that, like, I guess.
Yeah, feeling.
Yeah, like that habit of asking people, oh, what does that mean?
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. My name, actually, it's Ivanna, but it means gift from God.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, I give her mommy. No, mommy, I'm in a podcast.
We call her?
Yeah, I know. No, she's working right now. Okay. But at 3 she gets out. So maybe we will.
Okay. A little shout out, a little mommy shout out. Well, thank you so much for giving me the story behind the name. I love it. I love anything related to demoness, succubus, hell, all that stuff, because I feel like a lot of, like, I love that you mentioned that, oh, even when I was 12 and I was dancing, you know, trying to belly dance, you know, I really connected to my sensuality, even the chiquita, but it wasn't anything like
on that side that people think like, oh, you're too young to do something like that. And I'm like, what do you mean? I don't think of it anyway. I'm thinking of it like I like to dance, and it's an art form, and that's how, like, it feels good to dance that way. And I'm not thinking about it any like sexuality. I'm thinking about it, this is my body, and it's so cool it can move that way.
Exactly. And I'm gonna go there, okay? I'm gonna get deep a little deep, okay? This is what we do here. So many times our Latinas and young girls in general, but specifically Latinas, because it's an RGV podcast, they are demonized for having passion. Our bodies are demonized for just existing. Like, oh, you need to keep it pure. Your women have to be clean. Like, they have to be pure and, you know, like saints. And that's just not it. Like, we're humans, we're animals, and we have desires. And I think dance is a beautiful way that can be expressed. In a way that no one gets hurt, in a way that it's something beautiful to see, and not only see, you feel it. So, like, no matter what, like, type of body you have or what kind of experience you're living in this life, like, if you dance, if you have movement, if you're able to do any type of movement or just like feel it, any type of movement, it's like something so beautiful. It's so sad that it's demonized on us. So that's what I thought when I heard the name. I was like, like it's hell out here, but we dance. So
I can be a hell on heels like chick right now. You don't want to mess with me because I'm literally walking.
That's like, I think that leads into my other question. Did you feel like you were tapping into power when you unlocked the ability to dance or control your body?
Yes, I definitely, like, when I started dancing when I was young, I think I always compare myself first to others, which is why it's very important when you come to my class and I tell you, like, there's no comparison, there's no judgment here, because that your biggest the biggest part of stopping yourself is yourself. Like, you won't allow yourself to grow. And I feel like when I was very young and being like in a single household with my mom, I was just to my little world. Like, no one else, like, oh, you should do this, or oh, that's cool. Like, it was just like me. Like, was that cool? Was that good? Am I good? And do I suck? And like, no one else was, you know. So that was really hard. But when I started dancing and I was a little bit older, doing belly dancing and being able to control my body, how I wanted it to do and how I wanted it to look, and I was like, wow, like, this is a whole different world. Like, I like what it does. I like how it moves. I like how it makes me happy. So I was definitely stepping into that fire, into that empowerment of, I am more than what I thought, or more than what my brain would let me think I was, right? And oh my gosh, that's crazy. I know why you're not. But yeah, like,
we're not scared of feelings.
Yo sé, pero mi makeup is scared.
Yeah, it's too cute. It's too cute.
But definitely it was something I was stepping into a fire. Now, I don't know if this goes into your question, but moving into where I created Hell in Heels, I've always been dancing. I've never been the thinnest. I've always been fluctuating. I've had food disorders, like eating disorders, because same thing, my brain was wired like differently, still wired that way sometimes, but working with it. Where I love food because I come from a Mexican family. My mom's a chef, so there was always food. Maybe we didn't go out and ate, like we didn't go out to eat because there's always food at home, but my mom would always make all types of food, right? Pastas and de todo. So food was very important at home, but also food was making me not like myself. So the constant struggle of like, I'm not going to eat, to I'm going to binge, to so on, was very hard. And disassociating like what is the right thing. But connecting it to when I opened up Hell in Heels, I had just gone to World Dance. I was so happy. I had graduated high school, went straight into, oh, I can't say their name, but I went into a pro dance team.
Mm-hmm.
And from that pro dance team, I was super excited. Like, I'm going to be able to do this on a bigger stage, and it's going to be so awesome. And from what I thought was going to be awesome, just killed me even more.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was really hard. So I was dancing in that pro dance team, and as soon as I tried out, they told me you're overweight. It is crazy because I was not. I'm never gonna fit into a size small shorts.
Mm-hmm.
If I am gonna fit into size medium shorts, right? I'm taller. I am a little bit more like broader than the regular dancer in those type of teams. My legs have never been thin. My legs have always been thicker side. I've always been more curvy. So I wasn't looking the same way as everyone else was, but I wasn't like, I was standing out because I'm not the same structure, right? Not because I'm overweight or anything, but that basically evolved into me not being able to dance and getting benched 1 week, and then me going to like the gym for like 6 hours a day and eating like super tiny portions because I didn't want to be benched anymore. Mm-hmm. To like me being able to dance because like I starved myself 1 week and then dancing the next week, and then the process all over again. Like they would set me out like, hey, you look a little bit more. I'm like, oh, fuck. Dude,
that's
like
brutal.
It is like 1 week yes, 1 week no, and like oh well, we don't have this person, so I guess we'll let you in now. Well, I'm like your second or third like person to choose, but yet I remember everything of your choreos. I'm teaching your other people the choreos, and I remember one time back then when I had like this boyfriend, I remember just crying and crying and crying. I'm like, I can't dance because I'm too fat. And I'm like, and he told me like, what the fuck are you saying? That is not even like, you can't dance with them because they think that, but you're not. And it like me telling myself that in my head was the most horrible time, like horrible moment in my life. And that's when I realized the year ended, and then I was like, okay, am I gonna go for another year? And what did I like about it? I liked that we did this and this. Was I getting paid enough? No. Was I doing what I wanted to dancing? No, because they were benching me. And it was just very toxic. And that's when I realized I don't have to be skinny to dance. It's just I have to get away from them to be able to do that. And went to LA with another dance team, came back so empowered and happy and loving my body again. And I was like, I need this. I've always taught. I've been teaching since I was 14 years old and doing little baby classes when I was like 11. Mm-hmm. So I, at the time, was teaching belly dance and jazz funk around that time, and while going to school and being in this pro dance team. Yes. And so on. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to teach my first my first heels class. See what happens. And I did it. It was like 2 people that went to my class. It was like my close friends back then. And they loved it. And they're like, oh my gosh, what are you going to do next week? And I'm like, oh, you want to do it next week too? Like, okay. And then the actual first class of Helen Heels opened up with the name Helen Heels. And like 8 people showed up that I didn't even know.
Oh my god, how did that feel?
Oh my gosh, I was a nervous wreck. Like inside I was like, holy shit, I don't know what the fuck is happening. Why are these people here? I don't know them.
What song did you do? Do you remember?
I did, okay. Because before that, I had done Haunted. But that was my second.
Beyonce?
Yeah, Beyonce. I did Haunted. But that was my second class. I think the first class that I did was Zed. Ay, ¿cómo se llama? Déjame buscarla. But it was like a techno like mix type thing. It was really cool. Yeah. I really, really liked it.
I'll take your word for it.
Yes.
Your music selection is always really good.
Oh, thank you. But yeah, it was that song, and everyone liked it, and that was it. My home base was before Wednesdays at 8:30, and that was it. And the next class we did haunted, and the next class we did something else, and I created this character, right? When I'm in Helen Heels, I'm a persona, like I'm a character, and that character is still me. I'm not faking becoming her, but it's someone who is just out of her head, very in tune with the people who are there and acknowledging them, because I feel like when you go to a class, what is very hard automatically, some people, to them, is very hard to push themselves, especially if they're not normally a dancer, or they are a dancer but they stop because of something, you know. So like, oh my god, I'm gonna go, oh my gosh, what if people are mean, what if people, I don't get it, like there's so many things going on in your head, because it's not like when we were young that you just were going to class because your parents were paying you for it, or you're going to class because you need to, ni modo, right, or you're gonna compete. It's more of like you're willing to go to a class, and that's worth so much more, right? To even to go to a class and to feel like shit in your own mind, but because you keep thinking that way, like, no, like, oh my gosh. So that's where I created those rules. I'm like, the funny thing is that when I created that rule, whenever you're dancing, you're only allowed to look at yourself in the mirror. You're not allowed to look at anybody else, and if you have any questions, you can ask me. But the moment you start looking at someone else and you start comparing yourself to others, that's the moment you create your blocks, your mental blocks that don't allow you to continue growing. And then you're stuck. You can't do anything else.
And these are so real. They're so real, because you could I've literally seen girls who are new to the class, like first day, by the beginning of the class, they're all like stiff, and then they ask for direction, and then you unlock it for them, take away their like you said, their block, and then boom, they got it. And it's like, they never thought, like at the beginning of the class, you're like, oh, I'm never gonna get that, and then by the end you see them blossom. So it's really awesome.
It's super awesome. And those rules I've come to them since I started, but in reality, when I was saying them to myself, you know, because I'm having this class, and why do I feel like a hypocrite? I'm telling these people that they should love themselves, that they should be in tune with themselves, to take themselves on a date, to learn about their body, embrace their body, yet I haven't completely done that myself, right? So as I kept continuing saying it and living by it and saying it and making sure that everyone understood what this class was and what that door meant once you entered was important, but not just for them, but to me too. And as my students started believing it, I started believing it. And seeing them like grow and blossom, and from the start of the class being like super like, oh fuck, what the fuck did I come to do, to like, holy shit, yes. That was like, yes, like this is real. Like this is something beautiful that like they all deserve to feel. And I think that was the most important part of creating Helen Heels, not only for other people, but for me. I do feel like Helen Heels really saved me. Like, if it wasn't because I pushed myself, you know what, to like keep this feeling in my body, like in my heart, that I brought back from LA, that fire, that love, like self-empowerment, and I didn't put it into something, I don't know what would have happened with me. But because of that class, in the thought of like, oh, it's because I have another class next week. Oh, it's because I can't because I have to have another class this week.
Yeah.
It kept me going, and that has kept me going for the past 7 years. So it's beautiful to see that still 7 years, and people were like, hey, when is your next class? Or
and many more to come, girl.
Ojalá y sí.
Yes.
So that's I'm happy about that.
Thank you so much for sharing that like background about Helen Heels, and also a little bit about your personal background and your introduction to dance and this like weird elitist body shaming culture that follows like the dance industry, but I feel like any industry, because I guess it was body shaming is engraved in almost everything we do, in every space that we go to. So it's really someone dealing with that on their own is so intense. And just thank you for sharing that, because it's really important, and that needs to be said. Like, that's not okay. And the person who you were talking to at the time, like, yeah, they were right. They had no right to tell you that. They were following stupid standards that did nothing for no one. And you left that, a place that was toxic, and then you went somewhere else and sprouted, and you planted your magic, and here it is, like, blossoming into so many beautiful things. So that's really beautiful, and I'm proud of you for that, and I admire you for that, girl. Like, that's really, really, really empowering. Like, did y'all catch that? Like, you guys can do that too. Like, no matter in what, if people are telling you, like, you don't belong here, or no one's ever done that here, that's not gonna blossom or do well. Matter. It doesn't matter at all. It does not matter.
At that time, actually, I think someone else was teaching heels, but not so consecutively. And then I started teaching heels, and that didn't go well either. Like, they were, like, super mad and pissed off. And yeah, and they were, like, it was another dance instructor who was tearing me down now. And it was horrible. And then they ended up moving.
Good. Yeah. This place is no, the more the merrier.
Yeah,
hello.
Exactly.
Like, it's not like you can hog all the people who want to dance in the valley. There's room for everyone.
There's room for everyone to grow, for sure.
No scarcity here. Not at all. That's not okay. The next question I have for you is, could you walk me through the day in the life of the Helen Heels CEO?
Well, my day has so many different lives.
Tell me about it.
Okay, so
she's a multifaceted queen, you guys, okay? She's not just a dance teacher and confidence instructor. She has many lives, like she says, so let's get into it.
Yes, so as soon as I wake up, I have 4 pets, right? So I have Canela and Pepper, which are huskies.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, they're about 9 months. And then I have Bimbo, and I have Bimbo is a little pommy, and then Biscuit is a cat. Right? Yes, so it's super cute. So as soon as I wake
Snow
up,
White.
Yes, all that comes to me. As soon as I wake up, I gotta get them ready. The beautiful thing about my job now, I studied at school marketing and public relations, which I was using it for a while at a office, but I quit to help smaller businesses. And that's when I created Savory Marketing, which is my marketing company that I have also on the side.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna hit you up, girl.
Yes, definitely. If you ever need anything.
Yes.
But yes, that's when I started creating RGV Taste, and RGV Taste started growing, and it's a vlogging, vlogging account that I do, RGV Taste, following and posting about local businesses in the RGV and highlighting them to get everyone to know. Love. Yes, and since that was growing and I couldn't just give it a Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever, I moved it up. But I wake up, RGV Taste and Savory, I have my meetings for them with clients, or I go to a shoot like Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I have to go to client shoots, film there for about 2 to 3 hours, take a lunch break, and then go film somewhere else. Then come back home, finish desk work, go out again to do errands that I need to do, come back home. Then when I have my classes, which is on Thursdays, as soon as I get home, change, start practicing in front of the mirror for what I'm going to teach, get the counts, do what I need to do. By 7, I drink my waters, a little bit of a pre-workout, so I can make sure I have enough energy for the class. And then after at 8:15 or 8:10 if possibly, I'll head out to the dance studio, and we'll be there till 10:30, and then head home, late night snack because I will be dying, and drink water and go to sleep around 1 or 2.
Oh my goodness. So you're like, bus, another club, plane, no sleep, no eating.
Yeah. So as soon as I wake up, it's working Savory and then RGV Taste in between. And then sometimes I have to film partnership videos, and then I have to go film other clients, and then so on. So every day it's something.
So your days are pretty hectic.
Yeah, they are.
And because you manage multiple things, oh my God. Like,
and I have an event center.
You have an event center?
Yeah, I forgot about that. I have an event center too.
I need to get my ass up. I need to lock in. We need to lock in, okay, guys? See, this is why she's in the RGV role model series.
I forget sometimes. Oh, yeah. Okay, let me list them because I'm going to forget.
A ver.
RGV Taste. Savory Marketing. Cloud9 Events.
Okay.
Helen Heels. I Know a Friend Events, which is like curated events locally. 5. Am I seeing anything else? No, 5.
5
businesses.
projects, 5 businesses.
They all have LLCs. Yes. Yes.
Sí podemos.
Sí podemos.
Yeah, we can do it. Somos chingonas.
Somos chingonas.
Literally, so chingona.
It's because in my mind is like, if I like something and I want to focus it and I want to create it, I won't stop until I do it. Yeah. Right? Because the thing I don't want to say ever is be 80 years old and say, what could I have done if I had done that? What would it have been? No, I don't have time for that. I want to do it now. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But at least I tried it. I don't like what ifs. I hate what ifs because life doesn't have enough time for what ifs. It's just either you're going to do it now and you're going to be sorry later or you're just going to be sad about it. But then you'll get over it. You know? You just never know.
Oh my God. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. And thank you for sparing this tiny bit of time that you have to talk to me on my show. Oh my God. All right, girl. You're a busy girl. Okay. We kind of already brushed up on this, I think, but we can reiterate.
Yeah, for sure.
How did you know that this path, the creative path, the entrepreneurial path, was the path for you?
I think I've always been wanting to do more than what I saw other people do, like in offices. Like, I never saw myself, like, sit in an office and then go, right? Like seeing my mom, I think, working 2 jobs to be able to sustain us and never really seeing her was something that I was like, I can't. Like, I appreciate my mom so much for all her hard work, but I can't do that. Like, I saw her be in pain. I saw her come like arrastras, you know, like I can't wake up. My legs hurt. Like, all of this hurts because her work was just so, like, it overworked her. And I'm like, that's not happiness. Like, it is a creative job she had, which was creating food, but it wasn't a creative job for her. It was like, you know?
Because I have to do
it. And I was like, I never want to have to do something. I want to do something. So I think that was like the main point, like, of my life, of like, I want to do what I do. I don't want to be forced to have to do it. And I think I always gravitated towards dancing or theater or like stuff that was fun. Yes. And I felt like that made me in tune with maybe who I was really, because me being quiet and everything was just me being scared. That wasn't my personality. But whenever I did fun things, I was able to learn who I was. Like, when I was in theater, I was able to play a character and not be scared to be that character. Or if I was dancing, I was able to be that person in that dance. So I was like, but I'm still all of these people. And I like these people. So I want to be them for as long as I can. So I think that's what I created, like the Helen Heels and RGV Taste and just entrepreneur and creative outlets that made me learn more about myself, because there's no guide, you know? There's no guide on how to be able to do it here, how to be able to do it there. Like, no one's telling you, like, they sell guides, you know? But like,
they totally do, but yeah, they don't apply to all the intersectionalities that we have. Like, no, there's no guide. Like, I think you're making it. You're making as it. As you're doing all these things.
Exactly. If it doesn't exist, you're still creating it in your world, in your space, you know? So I think when I made Helen Heels, that was this is a heels company. This is a heels class. It's a very focused heels. It's not like a dance studio that already had a heels teacher or had a teacher who was like, oh, well, let me just teach heels. It was more of like, this is concentrated in teaching heels, and I'm going to say this is a heels like company. We're going to be performing as a heels company, and that name also is very scary for people. Heels, a heels dancer, right? So I think that was the point where I was like, this is what I want to do. This is creative, and I want to be her.
Yes.
I want to be her. Yeah.
I love that answer, and I think you are her.
Oh, yeah. We are her.
Yeah, you're her. I'm her. Okay. The next question I have for you is, what do you hope for the future of Helen Heels? Do you see yourself expanding to various locations in the RGV?
I know. There's so many different things I want to do with Helen Heels. I'm not done with it. And the thing is that me and my injury with my foot, it cost me to take a step back, and it was so hard because I almost felt like I went into a little bit of a depression because dance is so tied to me at myself.
Yeah.
And when I'm not doing it, it's very hard. But the good thing is I was still being creative through RGV Taste, so that still let me be as creative as I could possibly be.
Mm-hmm.
But oh my gosh, I think the next best thing that I want to do is go back to creating video concepts, which is what I want to do. I used to do them back in 2020, 2021. We would practice and then film them all day.
Is it the ones at the beach?
Yes,
they look
beach.
so cool.
They're super fun. Super, super, super fun. It's something I still want to do. I have the means to be able to produce something like that. Now I have my marketing company, which means it can happen at a lot faster and easier rate, than before, where I was scrambling to be I'm broke and I have to pay $500 for this videographer or whatever because we're shooting all day.
Yeah.
How am I gonna get that money? And I'm a broke college student and just a dance teacher and haven't finished my schooling, right? So I still made it happen. I don't know how I did, but I still made it happen. And it's funny because now I have the people who can help me create it, and it's also my business, so it's all the lines attached together. And so creating that, giving more free classes to the community. I feel like a lot of people can't attend them all the time, either because of finances or because they don't have time during the week because they work. So offering at least one free class a week is something I really, really want to do. I do Helen Heels because I love Helen Heels. I'm not doing it because it's financially something that I need. Mm-hmm. Of course, it helps.
Yeah.
It does not help. I'm not rich or anything, if I can give
we're in the valley.
Yeah. I can give myself out to the community to be able to teach and help spread this love, right? And for sure, I want to do more performances. But not only in location performances, there's this event happening, we'll perform. No. I want to have a set monthly performance event.
Oh, yes.
Where it's I am a good girl, and then da-da-da-pow. Yeah, it's a whole production, a whole thing. I already see it. If I see it, it means it's going to happen. So I see it, I can feel it, I know it's happening, and it's something that I've been wanting to do since I started, but it just never aligned, and I know this year it's going to happen.
I'm manifesting that for you.
We're manifesting it. I know. We have it. I feel it. I know it. So yes, shows, performances, and if I wanted to expand, I did. I wanted to expand since 2 years ago and teach in Harlingen as well, since it was a melting pot to Brownsville and people who were in different areas. But when I was calling around to different dance studios, your question with the whole, what people think about that word, having heels dancing, they showed me what they thought. Tea. Yes.
Did you want to get into that?
I won't say who it was.
All right.
But I called, just so you all understand, the type of, taboos, or not taboos, but stereotypes I was trying to break with me saying, hey, I have a heels dance company. I have a class. We get about 20 people or more. I would love to be able to teach in your studio. It's in a great area. You won't have to do any marketing. I will do it all. You don't have, it's just, you rent me your space. Mm-hmm. If you want to have your name on it, also, you can have your name on it. If you don't want to have your name on it, you don't. So that's me being almost like, if you want to, but you don't have to, like almost just not giving myself credit. Like, you should, you should want to have.
You should
my
want
class.
your name on this. It's awesome.
It's awesome. But because I was so scared also of what they were gonna say, I heard that hesitance once they said, I was like, yes, for sure. Like, they're like, okay, yeah, we haven't done that, but maybe we can do something. What do you teach? Like ballet, blah, blah. And I was like, no, I teach heels dance. It's for adults. And she's like, heels dance? And I'm like, yeah. Like, so we teach heels, like, in different genres, hip hop, reggaeton, like everything but on a heel. And then she's like, oh, okay. Well, I mean, like, we are a dance school that has, like, kids. Yeah, but I understand. But this class would be, like, around 8:39, and I don't teach kids. I teach adults. Mm-hmm. I mean...
like, no kids will be present?
And then this is that person.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, is it, like, a stripper class? Is it, like, what are you gonna be doing? And I'm like, well, I'm teaching a class. Like, I'm teaching, like, if it's jazz funk or reggaeton or hip hop, but we do everything in a technique of heels. Mm-hmm. And she's like, well, it's because I don't want my kids to be around that. And I'm like, what the hell do you mean? You don't want your kids around? Like, you don't want your kids around like strong, independent women? Like, what do you mean? And she's like, well, I don't know. I'll see. But you can email me and I don't know what. And then I think I got so pissed off. I was so mad. I got off that call. I was being super respectful, but I got off that call and I was like, what the what the hell? What the hell is this? Like, what? Like, I couldn't believe what that person was telling me. And it made me believe that they were so ignorant. They're so ignorant. And they're in the dance community, right? And that's how they're thinking. And they teach kids, right? And yeah, maybe they were trying to be like in taking care of their kids, but you're not taking care of them. You're putting thoughts like that into kids' minds. Like, what's wrong with a woman's body? It's not like we're flashing you or anything. Yeah. Like, everyone's fully clothed. Everyone goes to do a dance, like learn a dance, learn a moves, just like kids, just like anybody. And that enraged me so much. And I got an email back from them, or they called me back like, oh no, like, I'm sorry, I didn't want to come that way. Like, it's just I wasn't too like knowledgeable on what it was. But yeah, definitely, like, let's talk, because I sent them my Instagram account and they saw how packed my classes were. Mm-hmm. So I think money talked to them, but I am not willing to put my values in an area where they think like that.
Good for you, girl. Good for you. Oh my god.
Can
I just say that talking to you is just such a breath of fresh air, because oh my god, like, there's so, and I don't want to shit on anyone, but the rise of like conservativeness.
Conservatism.
The rise of conservatism. Like, they're going to they're gonna come for women expressing their sensuality and owning their bodies. They're already doing that, girl. We're in Texas. And it's so unfortunate that's the regular adult here in the Valley. Like, that's why when I a little context, like, we were talking before we started recording, and I was like, yes, like, I really wanted to talk about this because, like, I think it, like, this dance style is a little taboo. Yeah. Especially in Latin American households. Mm-hmm. If you're bellaca, if you're dancing, if you know how to move, it's like, what's attached to that? Yeah. And it's just like, I guess I want the future generations to be able to own their bodies, be able to feel comfortable in their bodies and experience their bodies in whatever way they want to, without judgment and with el que dirán. And especially, like, isn't it so crazy? Like, her classes are one of the safest spaces that you're gonna find in the Valley. Like, I promise you, they are. Like, they are. And no one's drinking, no one's doing drugs. Everyone is there ready to learn. Everyone's talking to each other, making connections. female connections, which are very important, like for women to know each other in the community. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many good things that are coming from that, but because, oh my God, I'm getting pissed off. Okay, sorry. But they had to be like, but what? Like, you're gonna dance like strippers?
Yeah.
I mentioned that, like, oh, how do I explain to my mom that I'm gonna go dance like a stripper for an hour? Like, I'm just like, I literally leave in my attire and my like, bye guys.
I know, like, I think so. I think that too, because when I started like dancing, the thing is that my mom's always been so supportive. Like, you want to do this, go for it. You want to do this, go for it.
Supportive like Latina mom. Yes.
Yeah,
rare.
Super. She's like my biggest fan. She really is.
I love that.
She's awesome, and if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be embracing it. Cause she always told me, like, my grandma's amazing. I love her. But she always told me that my grandma would tell her, like, no uses eso. Like, you know, like, take that off. Like, wear something else more covered. Así. So she was never able to, like, fully, like, feel comfortable in her body. And she, with me, she's like, dale, ponte lo que tú quieras. Like, go off that door. So I would walk out of our home, into whatever the heck I wanted. As long as I came back safe, that's all she mattered and she cared for. But, yeah, because of her, I think I embraced everything in it. But of course, because of mental, you know, illnesses that I had and food and everything, it kind of took a lot of turns. But then I finally found something that pushed me back in, and that was Healing Heels and embracing what it was. And honestly, it's awesome. I love that still 7 years after I still have it, and people are loving it still and finding themselves in it. And I've gone through different generations in these 7 years, like different groups of people keep coming in, and it's just amazing to see, like, different. I've been part of so many different walks of life of people, so that makes me really happy.
That's so awesome. Thank you for answering that. Next question I have for you, I think you've already kind of answered this a little bit, or like the answers kind of leak from the other things you've said, but this is your chance to, like, just solidify it.
Okay. Dale.
What is your favorite part, absolute favorite part of the work you do?
My absolute favorite part of the work I do. I love when someone new comes into my class and I can see them kind of receptive, or just kind of like, I don't know, or like kind of just quiet. And there's two parts to this, because one of them applies to you. I love seeing them, like, quiet and a little bit more into themselves because they don't know anybody, right? And then the other rule in my class is that everyone has to perform, and usually some people get scared and other people don't. But this is a time where I'm able to see, I say the rawness. I say it like that. I'm able to see their rawness and what's inside of them kind of come out. And when I saw you dance in my first class that you came, I had seen you first, like, taking the class and, like, paying attention. So my eyes kind of, like, just drift to everyone because everyone's paying attention. But when you went into your group, girl, you popped off. And I saw, I always say, like, that flower, like, that comes within you, and it comes out whenever you're dancing. That power, that fire comes out. I saw it. So my eyes, like, went directly to you, and I'm like, holy shit, girl, yes.
Oh my
Yes,
God.
so I love seeing that. I love seeing people who are trying the class, and then they find themselves in a super comfortable space where they're able to show their rawness, their real them. It's so beautiful, and I feel so lucky to be able to capture so much of that, like, energy and see people, like, really in tune with themselves. And another part that I love doing is seeing the new people come in that have never danced, that have never done anything like that because they've been too afraid, or just never had the opportunity, or didn't have enough money to be able to do dancing at all, and then go to their first class and not be sure if they did fine, and then continue going to the next class and going to the next class, and it's been like 2 months or so on, and then I see them and they just pop off. They're just like, holy shit, like, this is the same girl who came into their first class that was like left, right, what, and now is turning and doing, like, splits, and Like, wow. Like, this is you. Wow. Like, I'm so happy to be able to put that spark. Not spark. I didn't put that spark because you always had it.
Oh.
I lit it up.
I
love that. I love seeing how beautiful that is. It's a beautiful process that not many people get to see, and I feel spoiled because I get to see it a lot.
Would you say that anyone can do this?
Anyone can do this. Anyone can do this. And I feel like that's a very important thing. I feel dance studios that I grew up in, the only goal was when you were little to go compete, to do recitals. That was it, right? Mm-hmm. But as an adult, your mind is not necessarily, oh, I want to be a dancer. This is my career. It doesn't have to be. And if it is, that's amazing. I always knew I wanted to dance, but I didn't really know if I wanted to be my career, as in I go dance with famous people, or I'm a person here and here. It was more, I loved creating and I loved sharing it and I loved teaching. I love teaching. I knew I wasn't the most amazing, bestest dancer that will be like frontline Beyonce.
In my book, yes.
Thank you. But you know, like I was like, I'm sometimes I'm not as flexible. Sometimes like I could be even more, but I just, you know, like it wasn't at the time that I needed it to happen. And me realizing like, okay, I'm not that dancer, but I'm still this dancer. I'm this dancer that's still embracing herself and learning from herself and love teaching to be able to have other people flourish and find themselves just like I found myself with this. And I don't have to be the center of attention in that dance group. I want to let other people shine through, you know? So I think like that was something I love more. I love teaching.
Thank you so much for answering that. That was such a beautiful answer.
I feel like I give a lot of answers all the time.
No, good. No, yes. It's amazing. On the flip side, what would you say is the hardest part of this job?
The hardest part of this job? Breaking my heels. I always break my heels, but no, like that's just like a funny one. But the hardest part of this job, I don't think I think about it as much anymore, but I think the hardest part is just mental blocks. It's mental blocks as in my students having them, or just myself sometimes thinking like maybe this is not good enough, maybe my class is not good enough, or something like that. But I always get the reassurance once I have my students and then my students like it, because the important thing about this class is that it's not for the person who wants to just, I don't know, like I feel like this class is for everyone. This class is for the mom. This class is for the college student that no longer is dancing competitively because she's going to be a doctor now and she doesn't have time to go compete. This class is for the older dancer that was used to dance in high school and in college, but now she's a mom and or has, I don't know, like, you know, yes. It's for the everyday person. Yes. You don't have to want to be a competitive dancer.
I love seeing the señoras in there.
Yes,
like,
yes.
They're like getting their little groove
exactly.
on. I'm like, yes.
See, like this class is for everyone. You don't have to think about it competitively, which I feel like as me, a person who used to dance competitively, it was like, do this or no, you're not in it. Mm-hmm. Do it or you're not in it. And I'm like, okay, well, I want to be part of this group, so I have to do it. That's ugly, you know? Like, I want to be part of this group because I want to be part of this group, and I want to dance, and I want to have fun, not because I have to.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
So I that's the part I love about the class, that it's for everybody.
I love that answer as well. You turned that into, it's actually not even hard for me at all. And I love it. All right. So You've talked about how the challenges that you faced growing up an only child, and how that applied to your creativity and dance and all that jazz. What would your advice be to the youth of the Valley now in this moment? Grown Ivanna.
If grown Ivanna was telling little Ivanna,
Oh,
like that,
let's
right?
do that.
Let's do that because I feel like it applies to anybody. Because when you're young, you don't have any captivity of like what the world has or will become.
Oh, that's so true.
So it's just what you know, right? I feel I would have told myself to just do it. Just do it. What's the worst that can happen? Just do it. Because I always lived in a lot of fear of like, well, what if I do it and then this happens? Or what if I did it and then people laugh at me? What if I did it? Well, people will laugh at you and what? Ni modo, like, ni modo, people are going to laugh at you. And if they don't laugh at you, something else is going to happen. Like, no matter how hard you try to control a situation, someone's going to laugh at you. Someone's going to talk shit behind your back. Someone is always going to do something. But out of those three, there's also more. Someone's going to tell you you did a good job. Someone's going to clap for you. And someone's going to tell you you're amazing. You know? Because not everyone's the same level. Not everyone thinks the same. So no matter what part of your life, people are always going to have something to say, positively or negatively. And if you don't do it, nothing of those things are going to happen. But if you do it, some of those things will happen. And you might just go into the right path instead, you know? So I think that's my biggest thing. Just do it. Like,
just do it. Sponsor us.
Yes, but no, just do it. Because why not? Why not? Fuck it.
You only get one life.
Yeah, you only get one life. And I used to think about my life like as a movie. You know, like, I'll hit replay. No, baby.
Oh, yeah.
There's no replay. It's just now or never.
You literally just, like, explained, like, the way I was thinking when I was, like, a kid.
Yeah.
Like, literally right now.
Like, because you watch TV, you watch movie, oh, it's okay, I can do it again. There's no, you don't get to be this age again. You don't get to be this person again. Like, it's just now or never. Just now or never. So either you do it now or you're going to be thinking about it 30 years from now like I should have.
Yeah.
And you're not going to get another chance because it already happened. So might as well do it and see what happens. And if it's something that shouldn't have happened, then you can always say, damn, I shouldn't have done that and I'm sorry. But as long as you always, I feel like for a lot of people, as long as you always own up to what you did and have your actions like, okay, yeah, I fucked up. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. That speaks millions of words. But if you lie and you don't take ownership, then that speaks even more from you. Like, I my biggest thing is, like, I prefer you tell me you lied, or I prefer you told me you fucked up, or, you know, because that's a bigger thing than telling me a bunch of things that are not important, like, that are not, like, the main point, you know?
Yeah.
That's what speaks of characters of people. So
we don't want to become that person.
No. So just do it, you know? Like, you don't have to lie that you don't like dancing because you're embarrassed. You don't have to say, like, oh, it's because I hate that move. No, you don't hate it. You're embarrassed, you know? So just do it. Like, just try it. You never know. You never know.
Did you hear that, kiddos?
Uh-huh.
All right. So we're done talking to the kiddos, our inner children, and the kids of the valley. What is the number one advice you would give to the adults of the valley?
To adults of the valley.
Like young adults, maybe even like parents now.
Not because you're an adult means you can't embrace your kid self. You know? I feel like a lot of people get embarrassed to say, oh, it's because I'm going to a dance class. Or, you know, I'm crafting. Or I'm, like, you have to also heal yourself. And I feel like you heal yourself with things that you were always afraid to do when you were younger, and you do them as you're older. But a lot of people don't let themselves do that. And I think a lot of those become hobbies or goals or more of like dreams that just kind of died. So, I mean, I'm in the creative aspect, right? But I never thought I would be doing like my vlogging. I always thought I would be in an office, but yet my life took me to this. And I didn't choose it. It's just that I was more of like, yes, okay. Yes, okay. This is coming. Okay. This is happening. Okay. Like, if life is giving it to me, I'm going to say okay as much as it leads me, because if it's being presented as an opportunity for me, why should I stop it from coming, right? So if you've ever wanted to try a class and you were too embarrassed to do it, just same thing, do it, because you don't get to live it again, and it's sad to not let yourself be fully there and embrace all of yourself because you're too embarrassed to do something. And in reality, like, no one pays your bills. If you pay your bills, you get to decide whatever you do, you know? So I think that's what I would do. Don't be afraid to try something different and out of your comfort zone, especially for adults, because we think kids are the scary people. We think kids are the most scared, but they're not, because they don't have knowledge of it.
Yeah.
Adults
that's so true.
are the ones that are the most scared, because they know what failing can feel like, and they know what succeeding can feel like.
Oh my goodness.
You know? So as long as you step out of your comfort zone and try something different, you already won. Even if you weren't the best, it does not matter. As long as you just tried and showed up for yourself, that's fine. It's more than enough. It's a big win.
Yes, I love that. All right. And second to last question.
Okay.
If anyone is interested in beginning their creative or entrepreneurial journey, but are hesitant, what should they do? Like, they're like on the verge, but
they're like,
they have the idea.
They have the idea. I think the best people around you are always your biggest supporters, right? I feel like you talking to someone that you really, you either really look up to, or someone that is consecutively like in your like corner, like, yes, you go, like just talking out loud, I think is the first step, because having it in your brain is one thing, but your brain sometimes tells you like, no, that's not possible, like, no, you can't do that. But saying it out loud to someone, and not saying it as a maybe, you know, like, example, I'm gonna take you, like, if you say, like, you're talking to you, I'm like, I feel like I should do like a podcast, like maybe it'll do good, maybe it'll do bad. No, never speak in maybes. Speak in wills. Speak in it already happened. Speak in those terms. Like, I feel you have to think about it like it already happened, like it's going to happen, like it's already a big old thing. You have to act like that. I had to act like Helen Heels was a big ass company, you know? So I can believe it. So I can believe Helen Heels is a badass class that has a lot of students and makes and everyone in that class feels confident as fuck and is just loving themselves to be able to create that space. Because if I was thinking, well, I think everyone likes themselves, I think they'll feel comfortable, then I wouldn't feel comfortable.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So saying like, I'm gonna do a podcast. I'm gonna do a podcast. I'm going to do an event. I'm going to own an event center. I'm going to have a vlogging channel. I'm going to partner with this. I'm going to do that. And then finding out what your dream is and going backwards to see what the first step is, right? So I think that's the biggest thing. I think you have to think of the biggest picture. Take that like it's going to happen and will happen, and then just work. Okay, if I was that person, how would I start? And taking it from there.
Amazing, beautiful answer, because and it goes back to the mental blocks, right? That's one of the mental blocks and the hardest parts of this work. Oh my god. Yeah, it's all in your head, guys.
It's all in your head. It really is.
And especially for communities like ours, like in the RGV, like you're not gonna see McAllen anywhere like on like Hollywood, like movie. Like you could be the one to do that.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
You can. You literally can.
Like, that doesn't mean, just because it hasn't happened doesn't mean it won't.
Yeah.
And if something hasn't happened, great. Like, that's an opportunity.
It's an opportunity for you to start from a clean slate, you know? Like, Helen Heels was one of the first Heels classes in the RGV. And it's the Heels class that continued and continues currently, because other than one of my good friends that teaches in Brownsville, there's no other Heels classes in the RGV. And that is something that I take so, like I'm so proud of it, right? Yes. And not that another class won't start and that won't be amazing, because I had a friend also kind of teach Heels too. And that was awesome too, because then there's more variability, but making sure that everyone is safe, right? But that's the most important part. Like, there's enough space for everyone. There's enough community for everyone. Like, the valley is small only in the areas of people's minds.
Period. Can you say that again?
The valley is only small in people's minds. In actuality, the valley is 1.4 million people in the RGV, the whole region. 1.4 million people. That's a lot of people. And there's people for everyone. There's work for everyone. There's creative outlets for everyone. And now I'm tapping into RGV taste here, but the only way our community will grow is if we help it grow. If we keep investing in our own community, if we keep creating in our own community, if we keep putting our community first, it will keep growing. Because I hate hearing there's nothing to do here.
In the valley.
It sucks here. Like, it sucks because your mind sucks. Because you're not trying to find things. You're not trying to do things because you already have that mental block in your head that the RGV ain't shit. No.
It's the shit.
Yes, it is. RGV, it has so much potential. It is growing, and it is trying. Nothing starts from zero. Like, nothing starts from 0 to 100. Everything goes through an evolution. And the beautiful thing about the RGV is that we are the authors. We are the authors, and we're writing each page of it. And one day when we're 40, 50, because of us, there's going to be other people that are going to be able to create. Because, like they say, we walked so they could run.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God, round of applause for that answer. That was amazing. That's what this is all about, guys. Like, yes, 1,000 times. Yes. All right. Last question. Where can my listeners find you and your services? So basically, shout yourself out.
Okay. You can find me with the Heels Company on YouTube as Ivanna Anirak. For Facebook, it's Helen Heels. Instagram, Helen Heels. For RGV Taste, you can find me on TikTok, YouTube, Pinterest, RGV Taste. For Cloud9 events, if you want to do an event at a really affordable price, because that's why I made it, so people can have their celebrations under $300, no more than that. Super, super cheap. Cloud9 events. You can find it on Facebook and on Instagram and on Google. And what else do I have? Oh, the I Know a Friend event is for people to make friends here in the RGV. Curated events. You can find it on Instagram, I Know a Friend, and on TikTok.
That's awesome. All right. I lied, actually. I have one more thing to you. Okay. So you shouted yourself out. We shouted where you can find you and your services. Can you shout out any piece of media, creator, book, anything, movie that has inspired you recently?
Well, as in Friends, if we do like dance community, I think for sure he goes to one of our classes. He goes by Smeg, Smeg Boots, something like that on Instagram. But Anjo, I love him. I feel like he is in a whole world of like drag that is also like changing the game, you know, here in the RGB. I love him. But also in the dance community, I'd probably say like Yayo or Kate, which are amazing dancers and have been co-instructors like me. We all were in the same dance studio teaching together. And as in other creators in RGB Taste Life, I probably say, who is changing the game? Since there's so many, but definitely Con Ganas Mija. I love them. They are changing the game by creating a space for entrepreneurs in Mission where they can hold their own shopping stores.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they can sell their items there. And they also have yearly Mija meetups for women who want to be in business or entrepreneurship. And they have speakers from different aspects of like the industry. They had people from big companies come down and talk. So they're awesome too. So any of those people.
All right, girlies. Marketing and all that stuff, girlies. Have you heard that?
Yes,
That's the place
marketing, dance, de todo.
Yes. All right. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for being on the pod. This is one of my favorite episodes so far. Hope more to come. And yeah, this was Ivanna Anirak with the Helen Heel CEO. And do you have any final thoughts?
I just wanted to say that you can create anything you got, and you have an amazing setup. You're starting really, really good, and I think if you want it, you'll have it, and just keep going, and I can see it. You're awesome.
Thank you so much.
And thank you all for tuning in también.
Yes. All right, share this with a friend, you guys.
Yes.
Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Malcriada Thoughts. This was your host, Zadria Knives, and
Ivanna Anirak.
Signing off. Yes! Oh my god, we got it.